Alexander was my child that I apologized to teachers for constantly. I would see the phone ring and I would just say, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. What did he do now? He broke 2 kids' noses. Yeah, he just said he didn't believe in teachers. So he wasn't going to learn. He was like, Jessica in my class doesn't believe in doctors. I don't believe in teachers. I'm not going to believe in teachers. He was such a challenge as a child. So I should have paid attention when he kept telling me there was something underneath his tongue. But it only came up when he was supposed to be doing homework or supposed to be going to bed. So I took all of my kids to the dentist, get their teeth cleaned, and I got called into the back, and they said, your son has a tumor underneath his tongue. And it was the size of my thumb. And Alec was like, Mom, I've been telling you I had something under my tongue. But he was my 3rd child. And I was like, you're fine. You're fine. I don't have time for you to be anything but fine. So now I'm feeling horrible. The doctor's looking at me like, how did you miss a tumor under his tongue? I'm like, I'm sorry. He said, this needs to come out. I said, you're right. Take it out. He said, no, I can't take it out. This is going to have to go to a specialist. This could affect his ability to speak. Now I'm like, oh my gosh, I am completely a ridiculously horrible mother. And the whole way home, Alexander was like, I told you I had something under my tongue. Didn't you guys hear me tell Mom? He tells John, hey, I have something under my tongue. Mom didn't take care of it. So I had to take him to the specialist because they'd already called the specialist. They didn't trust me to call the specialist. So the dentist called the oral surgeon and said, we're sending someone over. And the oral surgeon did not have a very good report. He said, now this is not cancerous, but it's extremely aggressive. And we have to take this out as soon as possible. And then he saw Alec was a little bit afraid. And he said, but you will be eating ice cream for a week. Well, Alec was my only child that managed to be chubby. So he was super excited about the ice cream thing. And so I knew right then I had lost him. So we drive home. John's come home from a trip. And I said, they're saying they're going to cut out not just the tumor, but part of his tongue. But Alec was like, but I get ice cream. I get ice cream. I'm like, stop it. You can get ice cream any other time. And John was like, I think we need to pray for him. And I said, I think that's a great idea. So what John did is he went up to the bunk bed. Arden was on the bottom bunk. Alec was on the top bunk. And he opened up the book of James, where it says, if there's any sick among you, that you call for the elders of the church. And if they've committed any sins, which my 3rd son had a lot of those, if they have committed any sins, God will forgive them and their parents will forgive them. And God will heal them. So we went through everything. Alec confessed all of his sins, of different assorted sins that were quite enlightening. And then John goes out into the hallway and he said, Alec, I'm an elder in the church. Call for me. No, seriously, he did this. And so my mom heart started to panic. I was like, what if he doesn't get healed? It's not just the prayer thing, it's a dad thing that's going to be in trouble. But we waited, and I heard Alec say, Dad? And he comes in, he's like, yes, Alec. And he had a little thing of olive oil, and he anointed him. We prayed for him. John cursed the tumor, commanded it to dry up, and we looked, nothing happened. Alec goes to bed. I'm like, maybe during the night, it will fall off. Get up in the morning, there's a tumor. I'm like, darn it. He goes to school, but he's excited because he's going to win. He's got ice cream. He's got ice cream in his future. So 2 days later, I go to pick him up from school to get his lab work for the surgery. And the teacher, because he's a naughty boy, is like, why are you pulling him out? He's like, this kid needs to be here every single minute of the day. He cannot just be pulled out for random things in the middle of the day. And I said, show her, Alec. So he lifts up his tongue, and the tumor was completely gone. Completely gone. You know, it said that when Jesus would pray for people, they would go, and on their way, sometimes they would be healed. There is a healing anointing in this house. And some of you may have gone home some point during this conference, and whatever it is you are believing for is still there. It doesn't mean it did not begin. God is a healer. We don't get to tell him when. We don't get to tell him how, but we do acknowledge him as healer. And some of us, he heals through medicine. Some of us, he heals supernaturally. Yes, I did buy Alec ice cream. Some of us, he actually takes home to heal us. But he is always a healer because he cannot be what he is not. He is a healer. That is who he is, and he is good.